So how can we support our children so that there's a full expression of their innate potential and capabilities? I think most parents have discovered that children have a lot to offer us, and they help us discover many facets of our being that were perhaps unexplored. We can certainly find pockets of joy and creativity within us when we hang out with our children. But all that inspires us to take a fresh look and say, beyond the more obvious things that we might do, what are ways we can foster their innate capabilities? And some of this boils down to how well can you tune into their being, their essence. Because their essence is wise and it knows the trajectory they're on. And what we ideally want to do is intuitively feed and foster that natural trajectory that comes with them. So the good news is we don't have to figure it all out outwardly and try to make it happen. Instead, we're like tuning into natural forces. And so our own intuition becomes a big piece of this, where we are sensing who they are. And this happens when we spend quality time with them, when we just hang out with them with no agenda, just playing, just being, nothing like it. A lot of good stuff just happens, including some of these kinds of things where we're naturally supporting and fostering them. So we don't want to be necessarily thinking, oh, I got to put my kid in this kind of school or this kind of class or this kind of course or this book. All those are fine. But this is your own beingness can help their being sort of wake up to its potential. So our own embodiment, I think, is always primary, where the extent to which we are conscious, we are aware, in touch with our own essence, the child sees in your eyes that you're alive and you are there. And something magical happens in that because they can be like, oh, it's okay to be alive and I like being alive and this feels good to me and I am seeing not only a person who is like that, but they are also encouraging me to step into that. So a lot of just beautiful things just unfold because the love is included in that and so many things which we do not even have words for, they're all cultivated. So I feel personally that being in that space for prolonged chunks of time unlocks a very deep connection. First of all, there's tremendous intimacy, and then there is also the fostering of their own potential. So I think a lot of things just happen all together, all good things. The other things we can do more consciously is to share with them inspired stories of other beings who lived that way. And somewhere in there, they'll pick up that, oh, I didn't know that was a possibility, and they'll connect with that. So some of these stories can be completely made up. In fact, the best stories I've heard and I've shared are stories I completely cooked up just like that, or my parents cooked up, and you can't find them in any book. So I would encourage you to start a storyline which you don't even know where it's going to go and just keep building upon it. Inspired by light, and let the magic unfold. Your own imagination coupled with tuning in with your child. Something happens there. And you know how the storyline should be to really make your child feel happy and connected. So you can do fun things like that. I always am a big fan of spending time in nature because nature presents a model where just hanging out there, you start emulating qualities of being. And your child will also pick up on that. So they also naturally emulate what's going on in nature. So I think things blossom naturally. And also, we don't want to put too much pressure on ourselves or the child with a timetable. Because as soon as you bring a timetable, it kind of messes up things. It shouldn't feel like by the time the child is 10, they should be playing the piano or something like that. No such thing exists. So we want to not bring in anything contrived into the timetable. So let the exploration unfold in its own strange way. Every child will explore differently. And in this context, I might say AI can be a good partner to bring some creative ideas, to bring some creative games where you can literally create a game on the fly and play it with the AI chatbot helping you play the game. So these kinds of things where you literally cook up a game and now you can play it because the AI will have the whatever you need, whether it's a board game or sequence of rules, whatever it is. You just have to tell it and now you can play. So this fluidity we can explore with children because children are naturally fluid. And when I see adults with children, I look at tremendous flow on one side and parents and teachers constantly trying to put that into certain sequence, certain structure, certain cubbyholes, and that flow is actually diminished from that. So I personally would prefer, let's have structures that are constantly adapting to the flow rather than preconceived structures that we have decided, oh, this is a good game. No, what was a good game yesterday may not be a good game today. So we keep creating new structures and let the children be sort of in the driver's seat because they have the flow going naturally. So we simply encourage that, foster that, and then sit back and watch it blossom. And we give obviously positive feedback when they make certain kinds of what's intuitively right, but maybe breaking some rule. When they do that in the right way, we encourage them because we are normally doing the opposite. There's a rule, they broke the rule, and we're like, that's not good. Instead, when they break a rule in a positive way, then give them positive feedback. So they don't keep thinking all rules should be followed without question. That's not what we want to teach them. We want them to look at each rule fresh. And yeah, maybe I mostly follow it, but there may be times it may make sense not to follow it. So we give them that kind of inner freedom and without the judgment. So these are some ways. Obviously, as we hang out with children, we will actually get ideas all the time that, oh, maybe I should try this. I would say do that. This is by no means comprehensive set of ideas. So it can be fun both for the child and the parent. That's usually a good way to check if this is all going well. If the kids are having a lot of fun and you are having a lot of fun, you're doing well. When you choose light, life becomes increasingly joyful, purposeful, and inspired. I invite you to join me to explore the realms of light, the infinite possibilities that light offers.